In the dim glow of her corner office, after hours when the city lights twinkled like distant stars outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, Elena whispered the words that shattered the silence, "No one wants to date me." Her voice was barely audible, laced with years of hidden pain. Then, with trembling hands, she lifted her shirt, revealing the jagged scar that snaked across her abdomen, a reminder of the battles she'd fought alone. Mark, the single dad who'd stumbled into her life like an unexpected storm, met her eyes without flinching. "I'm not going anywhere," he said, his voice steady as a rock in turbulent waters. "But to understand how they got here, we have to go back to the beginning, a tale of broken hearts, unexpected connections, and the courage to love despite the scars." If this story resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more heartfelt tales that remind us we're never truly alone. Elena Ramirez had built her empire from the ground up. At 38, she was the CEO of Apex Innovations, a tech firm specializing in sustainable energy solutions. Her days were a whirlwind of board meetings, investor pitches, and late-night strategy sessions. From the outside, she was the epitome of success: sharp suits, impeccable makeup, and a confidence that commanded rooms. But beneath the polished exterior lay a woman haunted by her past. Elena had survived ovarian cancer 5 years ago, a grueling ordeal that left her with not just physical scars but emotional ones too. The treatments had robbed her of the chance to have children, and the scar, a thick, raised line from surgery, made her feel like damaged goods. Dating? It was a battlefield she'd long abandoned. Men would start strong, charmed by her wit and ambition, but the moment vulnerability crept in, they vanished like smoke. Her team adored her, though. Elena was fair, innovative, and always pushed for work-life balance, especially for parents. That's how Mark Thompson came into the picture. Mark was 35, a widower raising his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, on his own. His wife, Sarah, had passed away from complications during childbirth, leaving him to navigate fatherhood while rebuilding his career as a software engineer. He'd joined Apex 6 months ago, transferring from a smaller firm for better opportunities. Mark was quiet, dependable, with a dry humor that snuck up on you. His desk was cluttered with Lily's drawings, stick figures of superheroes and rainbows, and he often left early for school pickups, something Elena not only allowed but encouraged. It started innocently enough. One rainy afternoon, Elena was in the break room, fumbling with the coffee machine that always seemed to malfunction on her watch. Mark walked in, his shirt sleeves rolled up, revealing forearms dusted with faint freckles. "Need a hand, boss?" he asked, his smile easy and genuine. Elena glanced up, her cheeks flushing slightly. "Only if you want to risk third-degree burns. This thing hates me." He chuckled, stepping closer to tweak the settings. As the machine hummed to life, they fell into conversation. It was light at first, complaints about the weather, shared frustration over a buggy software update. But Mark had a way of listening, really listening, that made Elena open up more than she intended. "You know, Lily's obsessed with these energy kits we sell," he said. "She built a mini wind turbine last weekend. Blew my mind." Elena's eyes lit up. "That's amazing. Kids like her are why I started this company. To make the world better for the next generation." From there, small interactions snowballed. Mark would share stories of Lily's antics, her insistence on wearing mismatched socks or her questions about why the sky was blue. Elena found herself laughing, a sound that had become rare in her solitary life. She began seeking him out for quick consultations on projects, but really, it was an excuse to talk. Mark noticed her isolation, the way she ate lunch at her desk, the faint shadows under her eyes from overworking to fill the void. One evening, after a successful product launch, the team celebrated at a local bar. Elena, usually the first to leave, stayed longer than planned. The alcohol loosened her guard, and as the crowd thinned, she and Mark ended up at a quiet corner table. "To Apex," he toasted, clinking his glass against hers. To surviving another day, she replied, her tone half joking, half serious. Mark tilted his head. You make it sound like a war zone. Everything okay? She hesitated, staring into her drink. Just, life. You know how it is. Single, successful, but somehow still alone. He nodded slowly. I get it. After Sarah, I thought I'd never date again. Lily comes first, always. But it's lonely, isn't it? Waking up to an empty side of the bed. Elena's heart ached at his words. Here was a man who understood loss, who carried his own scars. Yeah, she whispered. Lonely. That night marked a shift. They started texting, innocent at first, sharing memes or work updates. But soon, it deepened. Mark opened up about the guilt he felt for not being enough for Lily, the nights he cried silently after tucking her in. Elena shared snippets of her cancer journey, careful not to reveal too much. It changed me, she'd say. Made me stronger, but also, guarded. Their first real date happened almost by accident. Mark had a babysitter cancel last minute, and Elena offered to help. Bring Lily to the office, she said. We can order pizza and work on that prototype. What started as work turned into an evening of laughter. Lily, with her curly hair and infectious giggle, drew pictures for Aunt Elena, declaring her the coolest boss ever. As the night wound down, Mark walked Elena to her car. Thank you, he said softly. For tonight. For everything. She smiled, her heart fluttering. Anytime. But challenges loomed. Elena's insecurities gnawed at her. What if he saw the scar? What if he learned she couldn't have kids? She pulled back, canceling plans with excuses about work. Mark noticed, his texts growing concerned. Did I do something wrong? He asked one day in the hallway. No, she lied. Just busy. The truth simmered beneath the surface, building to that fateful night in her office. It was after a company retreat, where team-building exercises had forced vulnerability. Elena had shared a sanitized version of her story, earning applause for her resilience. But later, alone with Mark, the dam broke. They were reviewing retreat feedback when Elena's hand brushed his. Electricity sparked, and before she knew it, they were kissing, passionate, urgent, like two souls finally aligning. But as things heated up, Elena froze. Wait, she whispered, pulling away. Mark searched her face. What's wrong? Tears welled in her eyes. No one wants to date me, she confessed, her voice breaking. Not really. Not after they see. With a deep breath, she lifted her shirt, exposing the scar. It was more than physical, it represented her fears, her losses. Cancer took my ovaries. I can't have kids. I'm broken. Mark's eyes softened, not with pity, but with understanding. He reached out, tracing the scar gently with his fingers. Elena, this is proof you're a survivor. Stronger than anyone I know. He pulled her close. I'm not going anywhere. Lily and I, we see you. All of you. In that moment, resolution began. They talked for hours, sharing every shadow. Mark admitted his own fears, of loving again, of risking heartbreak for Lily. But together, they decided to try. It wasn't easy. Challenges arose, Elena's workaholic tendencies clashed with Mark's family priorities. There were arguments, like when Elena missed Lily's school play for a deadline. I need you to be present, Mark said, hurt. I'm trying, she replied, tears streaming. But I'm scared of failing you both. They sought therapy, learning to communicate. Elena opened up to her team about her past, fostering a culture of empathy at Apex. Mark introduced her to his world, soccer games, bedtime stories. Lily adored her, once saying, you're like a mommy superhero. As months turned to a year, their bond deepened. Elena proposed a family-friendly initiative at work, inspired by Mark and Lily. They faced external hurdles too, judgmental colleagues whispering about the boss dating an employee, but Elena addressed it head-on in a company meeting. Love doesn't follow org charts, she declared. And neither does life. One evening, under the same city lights, Mark proposed. On one knee in her office, the place where it all began, he held a ring. Elena, scars and all, will you marry me? Build a family with us? Yes, she sobbed, pulling him up. 1,000 times yes. Their wedding was intimate, with Lily as flower girl. Elena walked down the aisle, scar hidden but no longer a secret, feeling whole for the first time. Years later, they adopted a child, expanding their family. Elena's story became a beacon, inspiring others through TED Talks and her memoir. Mark remained her anchor, whispering, "I'm not going anywhere," on tough days. And so, dear viewers, remember, scars don't define us, they refine us. Love sees beyond the surface, embracing the whole. If this tale touched your heart, smash that like button, subscribe for more inspiring stories, and share with someone who needs to hear they're worthy of love. Until next time, keep believing in second chances. But wait, that's just the surface. Let's dive deeper into their journey, because true stories like this have layers upon layers, moments of doubt, triumph, and everyday magic that make them real. Flashback to Elena's diagnosis. It was a crisp autumn day when the doctor delivered the news. Stage 2 ovarian cancer, he said, his voice clinical. Elena, then 33 and climbing the corporate ladder, felt the world tilt. Chemotherapy followed, endless nausea, hair loss, isolation. Friends visited at first, but as months dragged, they faded. Her boyfriend at the time? He bailed after the first round, muttering excuses about not being ready for this. That betrayal planted the seed of distrust. Post-remission, she threw herself into work, building Apex from a startup to a powerhouse. Success was her armor, but it couldn't warm her bed at night. Mark's grief was different but parallel. Sarah's death hit like a freight train. One moment, they were expecting their first child, the next, he was a single dad burying his wife. Lily's cries echoed his pain. He quit his high-stress job, opting for stability. Dating? A few awkward setups by friends, but no one understood the widow's baggage. "I come with a kid," he'd say. And a ghost. Their paths crossing at Apex was fate's gentle nudge. Elena hired Mark after a glowing recommendation, impressed by his resume and the quiet strength in his interview. "Tell me about your motivations," she'd asked. "To provide for my daughter," he replied honestly. "And to make a difference." Little did she know, he'd make a difference in her life too. Their early interactions were charged with unspoken attraction. Elena caught herself staring at his hands, strong, capable, as he typed code. Mark admired her leadership, the way she mentored juniors without condescension. One day, Lily got sick at school, and Mark panicked. Elena overheard and insisted he leave. Go. Family first. Grateful, he brought her coffee the next day. "You didn't have to," she said. "I wanted to." The text started then. Lily's fever broke. "Thanks for the flexibility. Glad to hear. Send a pic of her artwork sometime." Soon, photos flowed, Lily's crayon masterpieces. Elena saved them, a warmth blooming in her chest. The bar night was pivotal. As Elena confessed her loneliness, Mark shared, Sarah loved puzzles. We'd spend hours on them. Now, Lily and I do them, but it's not the same. Elena touched his arm. She sounds wonderful. She was. But life goes on, right? Their kiss weeks later was inevitable. But Elena's pullback revealed the core challenge, self-worth. The scar wasn't just skin deep, it symbolized infertility, a dream stolen. I always wanted kids, she admitted that night. Now, I can't give that to anyone. Mark held her. Elena, family isn't just biology. Look at Lily, she's my world, but Sarah gave her to me. We can build something beautiful. Resolution came through small steps. They dated secretly at first, to avoid office drama. Picnics with Lily, where Elena pushed her on swings, laughing freely. But secrecy bred tension. When rumors surfaced, Elena faced the board. Mark's transferring departments, she announced. But our relationship is personal. The board, surprisingly supportive, praised her transparency. Personal hurdles persisted. Elena's fear manifested in overworking, missing dates. One fight escalated, "You're pushing me away." Mark yelled. "I'm terrified you'll leave," she shot back. Therapy helped. Vulnerability is strength, the counselor said. They practiced, sharing fears nightly. Lily's acceptance sealed it. "Do you love my daddy?" she asked Elena one day. "I do, sweetie." "Good. He needs you." Adoption was their triumph. After marriage, they welcomed Alex, a toddler from foster care. Elena held him, tears flowing. "This is our family." Mark kissed her forehead. "Ours." Apex thrived under Elena's evolved leadership, implementing parental leave and mental health days. Mark rose to lead engineer, balancing work and home. Their story inspired many. Elena's book, Scars of Strength, topped charts. In interviews, she'd say, "Love finds you when you're ready to be seen." Mark added, "And stays when it's real." So, as the city lights fade, remember, no scar is too deep for love to heal. Embrace your story. And if this epic tale moved you, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, we've got more where that came from. But let's not stop there. Imagine the details of their wedding day. The venue was a cozy garden, flowers blooming like hope. Lily scattered petals, her dress twirling. Elena's gown hugged her figure, the scar hidden but empowered. Vows were heartfelt. "I promise to stay, through storms and scars," Mark said. "I promise to let you in," Elena replied. Honeymoon in Hawaii, beaches, sunsets, rediscovering joy. Back home, challenges continued. Alex's adjustment period was rough, night terrors from his past. Elena and Mark tag-teamed, soothing him with stories. Lily became the big sister, sharing toys. Work-life balance evolved. Elena delegated more, joining family dinners. Mark pursued passions, like coaching Lily's soccer team, with friends marveled. "You two are goals," they'd say. But it wasn't perfect. Anniversaries of losses, Sarah's death, Elena's diagnosis, brought melancholy. They'd honor them, visiting graves, lighting candles. Through it all, their mantra, "I'm not going anywhere." Years passed. Lily grew into a teen, Alex a spirited kid. Apex went public, Elena a trailblazer. One night, reflecting, Elena whispered, "Thank you for seeing me." Mark smiled. "Always." Their legacy? Proving love conquers fear. If you're still with me, this story's length mirrors life's complexities. Hit like if it inspired you, subscribe for deep dives into human hearts. Share your scars in comments, we're all in this together. To expand even further, let's explore Elena's childhood, which shaped her resilience. Born to immigrant parents in a bustling city, she learned early that hard work paid off. Her father, a mechanic, taught her to fix things: cars, problems, hearts. "Nothing's broken forever," he'd say. Cancer tested that. During chemo, she'd recall his words, "pushing through." Mark's upbringing was rural, with a big family. Loss of Sarah shattered that warmth, but Lily restored it. Their blended family hosted holidays, turkey, tamales, laughter. Community involvement grew. They volunteered at cancer centers, Mark sharing widower tips, Elena mentoring survivors. Business-wise, Apex innovated, solar kits for schools, inspired by Lily. Personal growth, Elena tried yoga, finding peace. Mark wrote a blog on single parenting. Intimacy deepened, scars becoming maps of love. A crisis hit when Alex's birth mom resurfaced, seeking contact. Emotions swirled, fear, compassion. They navigated legally, allowing supervised visits. Family expands, Elena said. It strengthened them. As kids left for college, empty nest loomed. But they traveled, rediscovered each other. In twilight years, they'd sit on porches, hands entwined. No regrets, Mark'd say. Only love, Elena'd reply. This tale, vast as life, ends with inspiration, embrace imperfections. Love fiercely. Like, subscribe, join our community of story lovers. Your turn, what's your scar story?